In an abandoned reservoir, a horrifying female corpse, dressed in a red dress, was discovered. The body was severely bloated, resembling a giant, and the stench emanating from it was utterly repulsive. Judging from the degree of decomposition, the woman had been dead for at least a month. After retrieving the body, police discovered that the woman's earrings and other accessories were missing. Police initially suspected a robbery, murder, and body disposal case. Captain Wu dispatched a large number of officers to search the surrounding fields for other clues. Officer Wu and Officer Lin first found a woman's leather shoe, which, after comparison, was confirmed to be the missing shoe. Subsequently, more items were discovered. Inside the bag, they found the woman's identification card. Her name was Gao Suli, and she lived in a nearby village. Based on the address, Han and his two companions went to Gao Suli's residence, only to find it empty. Before coming, they had inquired with the neighbors and learned that Gao Suli was not only already married, but also had adopted a child. However, the thick photo album only contained pictures of the woman herself, and the family photos on the wall had been removed. Clearly, someone had tampered with it beforehand. However, Lao Wu found a photo in the bathroom that hadn't been completely destroyed. After leaving the room, Lao Wu accidentally stepped on a jar. As he complained in pain, he unexpectedly discovered a cabinet. The photo below shows a family portrait of Gao Suli, Gaoli, and her husband, T. This moment. The team members who had been investigating returned, saying that Gao Suli and her husband frequently argued, and 3 months ago, they even had a physical fight, leading to their consideration of divorce. However, Gao Suli had an eccentric temperament, was not good at communicating with neighbors, and their house was relatively remote, making it difficult to obtain more information. Everyone suspected that Gao Gaoli's husband was the murderer. Just as they were analyzing and discussing the case, bad news arrived. Gao Gaoli's husband had been at sea for over 3 months, and today was his first day back ashore. Team leader Han led a group to find him, and the man said with a bitter smile that he and Gao Gaoli had already divorced. Completely indifferent to the others' affairs, he went fishing at sea after their divorce. He knew nothing about the whereabouts of the little boy, especially since they had adopted him from an orphanage, and he cared even less about him. The forensic report was also in, revealing multiple wounds on Gao Su's body, all inflicted before death. His ribs and lower leg were severely fractured, and his skin was covered in bruises, indicating he had been severely beaten before death. The crucial fatal injury was a collapsed skull, leading to excessive blood loss and death. Everyone hated the killer's cruelty and was also distressed about finding him at this moment. Li Jin and Xiao Ling looked at the photo on the blackboard and raised a question. Upon seeing this, Captain Han immediately organized a large search. The team returned to the scene and, showing photos, explained that based on the color comparison of the socks, it could be determined that the woman had taken off her right shoe at the time. This matched the initial false evidence. Furthermore, the incident report indicated that the woman's right leg had been severely struck, and she limped away afterward, causing her to lose her shoe and soil her right sock. Han concluded that the man in black hid in the field, broke her leg, watched her struggle, then continued to beat her until she collapsed. The search continued, and as an officer approached the water tank, he discovered a conspicuous badge that hadn't been found during the initial search. It was suspected that someone had deliberately placed it afterward. Further investigation revealed the badge belonged to a volunteer organization, one that included Lao Zhou, a man with prior drug convictions. Police went to his home and found the missing earrings in a cabinet. However, Lao Zhou was already under the influence of drugs and acted violently toward police. After much effort, they subdued him and brought him to the station. They also discovered he had borrowed 100,000 yuan from Gao Suli and repaid only a little. Police suspected this debt led him to murder, but no matter how they questioned him, Lao Zhou denied killing her. Lao Wu planned to resume interrogation after Lao Zhou sobered up. Curly was left to guard him. But soon after, bad news erupted. Lao Zhou was dead. The forensic doctor confirmed the cause wasn't beating, but a large dose of powder given afterward. Curly said Lao Zhou began convulsing after being hit. He ran for help. Returning, he found Zhou motionless. A team member mentioned that interrogations are recorded. They found the recorder, and the playback matched Curly's story. After Curly left the room, someone else entered. Then Zhou's breathing turned frantic. Leadership blamed Curly anyway. Captain Han, however, deliberately suggested firing him, part of a plan to lure the real killer. Curly was told to make a scene and expose the tape publicly. He did so and walked down the street, while Lao Wu and others followed secretly. Curly entered an alley, then vanished from sight. They found him injured, hit on the head with a police baton. The attacker stole the tape, but Curly managed to injure the assailant with a shard of glass. Forensics confirmed the blood belonged to Officer Yun Tae-woo. But when they went to his home, the man they found wasn't the real suspect. It was staged, and new victims soon appeared. A woman found dead in a hotel, a piece of underwear stuffed in her mouth, fingers and toes painted red. While investigating, Xiao Lin disappeared. Only his ID and shoes remained. After hours of searching, they found him in an abandoned house, terrified, fingernails painted red. With him was a little boy, Gao Suli's adopted child. The boy said his name was Jin Shijuan. He and his brother Jin Shija had fled home years ago. His brother was mistakenly labeled a rebel and sent to a mental hospital. Jin Shijuan was sent to an orphanage and later adopted by Gao Suli, who abused him regularly. Not long ago, Kim Hee-cheol, a man from the mental hospital, found Jin Shijuan and took him in. He was the murderer, seeking revenge for the torture inflicted on his brother in the mental hospital. Investigation revealed a twisted nurse who had abused Kim Hee-cheol for years, painting his nails red, drugging him, tormenting him. Captain Han realized the nurse's fate, and the director of the hospital would be Kim's next target. Kim shot the director and fled. Han chased him to a bridge, where Kim collapsed from asthma. Han helped him with medicine, but Kim attacked. He was shot in the shoulder, then jumped into the river, ending his life. This story is a suspenseful tale. Please like, comment, and share, and join us for the next unknown story.